Hey folks, Jim Thomas here, Fitness Management and Consulting. Welcome to the channel today. I appreciate you being here. And certainly welcome back to all of our subscribers. We appreciate your support. And if you're new to the channel, if you're finding us for the first time, please hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. And to everyone watching, if you find the information beneficial, please hit that like button as well. And to learn more about me, learn more about my company and how we can help take your business to that next level, please check out the links below. Now, with that said, let's get into our topic today, and it's 4 disadvantages of gym business ownership. 4 disadvantages of gym business ownership. And so if you're new, if you're just getting started, if you're writing a business plan, if you have a business plan, I hope you do. If you don't, you probably should get one. If you're already in business, again, going back to that business plan, I want to suggest you have it. And one of the reasons I suggest you have it is, as an owner, every day, you're working on key objectives of this business plan every day. And one of the things that we talk about in business plans is, hey, what's the risk? You're going to go out, you're talking to a landlord, you want to lease space from him. He's going to say, what's the risk? Your lender, certainly, what's the risk? Maybe your spouse, what's the risk? You may ask yourself, what is the risk? And I'm not so much talking specifically about risk, but disadvantages, maybe / risk a little bit in here, of things that I see, and maybe talking about how we can mitigate some of this. Okay, so 4 things that I see that are disadvantages sometimes, of gym business ownership. And the first one, is time commitment. I mean, you're responsible, right? 24/7. It doesn't stop. Okay, you're there. And so, what you don't want to do is find yourself working all of that. If you've heard me talk about in some other videos, one of the first things we always want to do is we want to protect our most valuable asset, which is you. Okay. And, if you're there all the time, 24/7, that's going to lead to a lot of things that may not be beneficial for you. So in terms of time commitment, think about a few things here. A, how do we delegate? Are we delegating? Okay, do we have the proper people to delegate to? A lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of gym owners, a lot of managers, it's hard to delegate. I'll just do it myself. You've got to protect your most valuable asset, and that's you. Okay, and if somebody else can do it, let's let them do it. So let's look at delegating as a way to mitigate this issue of time commitment. How about automation? How much of what we do is being automated? Okay, and I'm not really talking about losing that human connection. We want to make sure we maintain that, because that's really what the core of the fitness industry, I think. But automating tasks that are repeated over and over. Okay, what can we automate? Make sure it's there. I know I talk to a lot of clubs that have the technology. They have all of this. They don't always use all of it or even know how. So, do some investigation in there of how you can do that. But let's automate. Let's protect our most valuable asset. Let's delegate. And some of the things you might even think about, depending on your operation, depending on your cost, depending on what you're doing, that whole 24/7 idea might be a solution for you. One of the things that I happen to like about that, I think it does save some anxiety there in those early morning hours sometimes, if customers can have access, without you being there. So that can be some things you can look at too. But look at that time commitment. Look at how you develop and train your staff, because ultimately that's what you're going to have. Number 2 is the risk. Okay, you're going to take a risk here. Okay, and let's talk about kind of what the risk is. Okay, if you're getting an SBA loan, they may want them to use your home as collateral. Okay, if something happened to your business and it didn't work, you could potentially lose your home. That's a big risk. Okay. Your landlord may ask you to personally guarantee your lease. Probably they will. Okay, there's risk, on that. You could, pledge your retirement savings. I mean, I talked to a group the other day that they were faced with the same thing. They'd run through their entire retirement savings on this. Okay, so let's talk about risk. Here's the first thing I want to say to you: get help. Don't go alone. Don't go it alone. This is where I can help. If you like, call me. Let's talk. Perhaps we can help you mitigate some of this risk, okay? Or if there's other folks, it doesn't have to be me. You might have attorneys, you might have accountants, other consultants, other advisors. Don't go it alone. Find someone who's been there. Now, don't travel off into someone who hasn't walked the walk. Make sure you know someone who's been there. I mean, if you don't know where you're going, ask someone who's been there. Okay, get help. That's the very first thing you can do. Okay, and then let's talk about and let's look at how do we mitigate this risk. Okay, and I'll give you one example. One of the things that I find a lot of gym owners do, particularly new ones, is they feel like they have to pay cash, for their equipment. Well, save your cash, keep your money in the bank. Let's lease the equipment. Generally speaking, getting an equipment lease is really not a difficult thing to do. Okay, your personal guarantees on the lease. You're going to have landlords. They're going to ask for that. You can count on it, but that's negotiable. I mean, we've had some very creative things that we've done over the years based on making payments on time, making payments for a certain period of time. That the landlord agrees, hey, if that does indeed happen, we will take you off that personal guarantee. And even the biggest one, or one of the bigger ones, you go to sell, or you decide you're tired of the business, you want to turn over to somebody else, and the landlord won't take you off the personal guarantee. Why would they? Okay, they got extra protection in there. So a lot of that is negotiable. Okay, and let's make sure we negotiate it, or whoever's handling that for you, let's don't just take it as is. I was talking to a guy one time, he was a client a few years back. He ended up selling. Did well, but there were some serious things we had to overcome. And part of it was in his lease that he'd signed with the landlord. And I remember asking him, I said, well, did you review this? Did you look at this? And his answer was, well, no. I thought this was just a standard lease that everybody signed. And he signed it, and it was not favorable. At the sale is where it was not favorable. And we finally got worked through it, but it was difficult. Okay, so we want to mitigate risk. But I think the biggest thing you can do here, get help. Get help. Don't go it alone. The job description that I give everybody, protect the investment. Surround yourself with folks that have been there, whoever it is. Okay, get help. Number 3, disadvantages of gym business ownership. The issue of uncertainty. The issue of uncertainty. And, uncertainty, it's the reason people don't do everything. Okay, it's the reason your customer doesn't buy. I'm not sure I'll use it. I'm not sure I'll like it. I'm not sure it's for me. I'm not sure I can fit in. Uncertainty. It's probably the reason you're not marketing like you should. Okay, I'm not sure it's going to work. I'm not sure I know how to do it. I'm not sure of this. Uncertainty across the board. And let's talk about this kind of from the selling perspective a little bit, and how you can look at this is, we want to overcome uncertainty. And the first thing we need to remember here on everything that we do is that the first sale that you make is the sale you make to yourself. Or you sold yourself. And I know most everybody I say that to, oh yeah, absolutely. But when you get down to it, maybe they're not as sold as they think they are. And it's not that easy. We have to continually get resold because we keep getting knocked down a peg or two, it seems like. And so, can you solve your customer's problem? Do you have the best gym to solve their problem? Is now the best time to do it? Is that true? Most people will say yes, but our behavior doesn't indicate that. Because if all that's true, we're getting after it. Generally, we're getting after it. And so we've got to get sold on this. Whenever there's uncertainty, we're simply not sold. And so we want to create certainty with our customers. We want to create certainty with the community. We want to create certainty with our staff. We want to create certainty with ourselves. Okay, it's really the first thing we have to do. Okay, create certainty. I had a group one time, we were talking about marketing, and I remember he kicked it off and he goes, Jim, you're going to have to go some to convince me we really need to do some marketing. Because he just wasn't sure. He needed certainty, and so we have to really look at that. And, use the videos on this channel will help you with that, I think. We have nearly 1,000 of them here on the channel right now of how-tos and how to run your business. But we need to create certainty. Anytime we have uncertainty, you're going to start to stall out. Number 4, disadvantages, risk, if you will. So financial commitment. It's that whole financial commitment, to getting this done. Signing a lease, borrowing money. When I say a lease, a building lease, borrowing money, equipment lease, hiring employees, marketing. Okay, there's a pretty good financial commitment, even at a smaller level. Okay, and with that financial commitment, we have to be able to sell in that sales process. So there's big commitments in here, and we want to be able to mitigate this. But how do we do it? Okay, it's kind of going back to when we first start. If you're brand new at this, hey, we want a 90-day pre-sales. We want maybe 90 days of abated rent, maybe more if we can get it, but 90 days of abated rent. There's 6 months of heavy selling. We've actually had some clubs at month 7 of selling right there, they're breaking even. Okay, they've really accelerated, the process a little bit. They get an equipment lease, they negotiate with their landlord on personal guarantees. They negotiate on finish out dollars. So all these things are negotiable. Don't just assume that it is what it is, because it's not going to be. It's all negotiable. We'll make sure you do it. So 4 disadvantages of gym business ownerships, 4 risk, if you will, and maybe some ideas on how we can mitigate that. Take a look at that. What else do you see? And there's others. Okay, we start talking about risk. There's others. But look at what those risks are and how do we mitigate it. Okay. Folks, my name is Jim Thomas. My company is Fitness Management and Consulting. Appreciate you watching today. Please hit that like button. I appreciate it. And to learn more about me, learn more about my company and how we can help take your business to that next level and help you mitigate risk, check out the links below. And we look forward to seeing you all in that next video.